Hey guys, would you like to know how to get a 10 out of 10 on your reading ruminations? I bet you do, because I don't just count these as participation points on Mondays. They count as classwork points, and they are double all of the other bell work. So you really want to rock these. I am going to show you the work of 3 students from September 28th, the week of September 28th, who are doing what needs to be done. And if you do what these students do, you too will rock your reading ruminations, okay? But first, I want to take a look at the prompt for this week. So, the prompt for this week says, consider some of the positive traits of a character in your reading. List them specifically. So that means if you tell me that a character is nice and friendly and sweet, you need to tell me evidence, give me evidence from the text of things that they do, specific things that they do or say, okay, that show that they are nice and sweet and friendly. If you just say that they are nice and sweet and friendly, you will not get a 10, okay? Then answer the questions. What can this character teach me about living a good life, about being a positive person? So this has got to be the second half of your response. You need to specifically state, this character shows me that here in real life, in the real world, these are the things that are meaningful in order to be positive and live a good life. Okay? So I'm asking you, just like I asked you to do last week, to take what is in your text, give specific information from your text as support, and then connect it to the real world. Okay? So, I am not going to go through again all of these slides because we've been through these before and I've created a tutorial about them. And if you cannot remember how to do them, you need to go back to September 21 and look at the video that I know you probably didn't watch. Got it? When you go into your slides, would you please notice that I have put your names in the slides and that I have listed them alphabetically. The reason I have done that is because it makes it easier for me to enter your grades in the grade book. Please do not go to the end and add your name to one of the blank ones. These ones here are for in case I forgot somebody's name or in case I have a new student who has not been added yet to the slideshow. Please do not put your name here unless you are not already on the slideshow because you are new. Okay? All right, so let's go back to last week and I will show you work that is a 10. You have to be reading a book on your own to do this assignment every week. If you have finished the book that you originally borrowed for this class, then return it and borrow another one. Or get another one or off the shelf at home or buy another one or however it is that you're obtaining books. Also, I need you to please be reading a book, okay? I don't have objections to audiobooks in general. I really don't. Except I'm going to keep asking you to cite evidence and like sometimes I ask you to take screenshots or do direct quotes or whatever. And those of you who are listening to audiobooks keep giving me this excuse that you can't give me the evidence because you're listening to an audiobook. I didn't ask you to borrow an audiobook. I asked you to borrow an ebook or one on paper. So you need to either borrow an ebook or get one that's on paper so that when I ask you to do these things, you can present that evidence. If you're going to listen to it as well, that's fine, okay? And there are a lot of benefits to listening and using audiobooks, but unless you are actually seeing the words on the page while you're listening, you are not getting the full benefits that you need to improve yourself as a reader. So you need to have something that you can see and show me. So last week's question was, consider the main character in your reading and tell us, who is he or she most likely to vote for in the current presidential election, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Explain your reasons, giving evidence from the text and from what you know about current election news. So the first thing y'all did was go into Google Classroom and start complaining because you didn't feel like talking about politics, and this is English class, so why should we care? Which shows just how little you understand how important your government and the politics and the economics and the social issues in this country are to your understanding of this class. And if you read my rant on Google Classroom from last week's Reading Ruminations, you know. And if you didn't read it, I encourage you to go read it, because I don't want to ever hear crap like that again. Everything that is going on in your world right now can be directly connected to this class. And you will do it, whether you like the assignment or not. Just like I pay my rent every month, even though I don't like it. And if I choose not to pay my rent, I pay consequences. So if you choose not to do the assignment, you will pay consequences. So now that we have that clear, what I asked you to do was go in and decide, okay, this character is a particular way. They act a particular way. They think a particular way. They do particular things. Would that person be more likely to vote for this candidate or that one? I didn't ask you to endorse a candidate. I didn't ask you to like a particular candidate. I asked you to put yourself in the position of that character and think, who would this character vote for if this character were actually alive here and now? Okay? So, now's the part where I get positive. Now's the part where I give glowing reviews of 3 students who did exactly what I asked them to do. Okay? You want to get a good score, these are the things you have to do. This young lady right here. She is reading something called The Lovely Reckless. She said she was on page 30. She actually gave me the list, the character's name, which several of you don't even do. You don't even tell me the character's name. The first thing I asked for was specific details, and you can't even tell me the character's name. Okay? So Cheyenne says, my favorite character, Frankie, would most likely vote for Joe Biden because she doesn't like racist, annoying, disrespectful people like Trump is. Okay? So clearly she's expressing her own opinion here. She believes that this particular character would not like Trump because. Okay? So what I see her saying here is I think Frankie would vote against Trump more than for Biden, but let's just go on. She is strictly for the right things and good things for her and people around her. And I know this because she stays after school to help clean and help kids in need. So she specifically says she does the right things and she likes to help people. And then she gives specific examples from the book. She stays after school and helps clean, and she helps the kids who need help. Okay, specific details from the text. So it's not enough just to say, she's cool, she's nice. You have to show things she does and says that prove that. Okay? All right, so she says, Trump hasn't done nothing but bad to our country, but Joe Biden will build us back up. So I think she's making the connection there that she thinks that Biden would be the kind of person who would help, just like her character is helpful. Frankie also helped a friend Marco out of a gambling situation, so that's another reason why I think she would vote for Biden, because she doesn't like to see people doing bad. Okay, so again, she's showing that this character helps people. She thinks that Biden is the kind of person who helps people. Therefore, there you go. That's who she would vote for. Thank you so much for always doing model work, Cheyenne. I so appreciate you. Okay? Next is Miss Kaylin. Miss Kaylin is another one who always makes me so happy when I read her work, because I can tell how hard she's working. So she says she's still reading We Are the Wildcats, which she started a couple weeks ago. She's on page 67. She says, the main character in my book is Lucy. Thank you again for telling us what her name is. I feel like Lucy would vote for Joe Biden because she makes perspectives on people based on what she has seen and watched them do. Based on the decisions and the actions Donald Trump has made, she would look at him as an untrustworthy and unfit president. Okay, so these are the claims, right? Here's her evidence. She gives details from the book. Some of you gave 0 details from the book, you guys. I can't give you credit when there's no details from the book. In the story, Mel had to gain Lucy's trust. Lucy started hanging with Mel because she had seen that Mel could be trusted and Mel had no wrong intentions. Okay, so this character likes people who are trustworthy. Donald Trump is known for making wrong decisions and doing wrong by people, so I think she wouldn't pick him. This is why I think she would vote for Joe Biden. So, 1, evidence. Mel likes trustworthy people. Okay. Elaboration. Donald Trump, according to Kaylin, is not trustworthy. So, that is why Mel would probably not vote for that guy. Evidence from the text, connection to the real world. Okay? So, this is why I think Lucy would vote for Joe Biden. Donald Trump isn't fit for the position as president, and Lucy would be able to see that, and I know he doesn't fit the president description. Okay? So again, she's giving us her opinion about the candidates, but she's also tying in why she thinks that character would share her opinion about the candidates. Okay? And there is nothing wrong with sharing your opinion about the candidates. Nothing wrong with sharing that. Okay? These are things I want you to discuss because they are important to your existence, to the existence of our country, and to the existence of our planet. The real world is way more important than whether or not you know where to put a comma in a sentence. And you can quote me on that. Last of all, lavishing praise. And I'm not lavishing praise on this person because they're my spawn. I am lavishing praise because this person did what I asked them to do, turned it in when I asked them to turn it in. And when I sent everybody back this assignment and said, you need to do these things because you're not doing them, like, it got resubmitted when it was supposed to, okay? Some of you did great things the first time, but like when I didn't grade anything, I just sent back a caveat and said, hey, please check and make sure you're doing these things and then turn it back in. Y'all never turned it back in. And then you're texting me and going, or emailing me or whatever, and you're like, why do I have a missing in the grade book? And there's comments all over the place. You know, that I put a comment in the SIS and I put a comment on the assignment in Google Classroom. Some of you I may have even texted or emailed, and you're still asking me, how come I have it missing? Because you didn't read my comments and you don't read my emails and you ignore these videos. Okay? And I know Mr. Abdullah had a rant today too, because he is just as frustrated as me. Because he and I are working our butts off, doing our best to try to teach you in this terrible situation that we are all living in right now in this world. And y'all are just blowing it off. You're blowing it off. You don't care. And we're doing all this work and laying our souls on the line. And y'all are just like ignoring everything we do. You just ignore it. And then you complain because you don't understand. You don't understand because you're not doing the work. Because you're not using the resources that we are giving you. Anyway. Last one that is doing exactly what I asked, and thank you so much, Talia. She says she's reading A Clash of Kings. She forgot to write the page number. I'll forgive her for it. So, in each chapter, it focuses on different characters, so I'll do one of my favorites. Tyrion Lannister would 100% vote for Joe Biden. He's one of the most intelligent characters in the series. Not only that, but since he's been harassed for being a dwarf, he would 100% be against discrimination. So this is her evidence. He's a dwarf. He's been discriminated against his whole life. So he is not going to want to vote for a candidate who allegedly discriminates against other people. He's going to vote for somebody who hopefully would end discrimination, or at least help try to alleviate discrimination. In the show, he joins Daenerys Targaryen, I can't pronounce this name, and guides her through the journey. However, when she slaughtered nearly everyone in King's Landing, he spoke out about it. He knew that killing innocent people is wrong. However, she arrested him after he spoke out. Okay, so she's saying this is the type of dude who's going to stand up and say, genocide is wrong, or mass killing is wrong, or discrimination of any kind is wrong. Therefore, he's the type of guy who's going to gravitate toward a candidate who he believes has those same values. And Talia believes that Joe Biden is that candidate. Okay? He used his voice to defend the people of King's Landing, sacrificing himself and his job for the people. That is something Joe Biden would do. So she believes that this particular candidate would do the same things that this particular character does. And by the way, they're both in leadership positions, okay? So she gives evidence from the book and then connects that to the real world, okay? You guys, we don't read books or watch movies or listen to songs or watch television because it's cute. We do it because it shows us what it means to be human and connect with other people on this planet. And I paraphrase from one of my favorite movies, I'm not going to lie, okay? But sometimes other people say it better than we can. I will repeat that if you never learn where to put a comma in a sentence, if you never learn that ever before you graduate from this school, I won't care as long as you can look at words and ideas and understand why they are important to your life and your world. So in the future, when I ask you to connect what you are reading to something in your life or something in this world or another piece of art of some kind, I don't want to hear your complaining that you don't like it. I love you, but I don't care whether or not you like it. It is not my job to give you things that you like all the time. Sometimes we do things because that's what's best for us, and we have to. And I will continue to challenge you, and I will continue to hook arms with Mr. Abdullah and tell you guys what you really need to hear. You need to do the work. And you need to step up and be an independent young adult because that's what you are. You are in high school now. You are not a baby. Read the assignments. Watch the videos. Do the work. And then after you have done those steps, then you contact us and you say, I don't know what to do. But only after you have read the assignments and you have watched the video instructions and you have made an attempt to do the work. I expect on the October 5th Reading Ruminations to see a much better attitude and much higher quality responses than I saw last Monday. With that, I hope that you have an absolutely lovely Monday.